Welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to look at how we set up our plough on our farm. So I'm not going to title the video how to set up a plough because there is a few different ways to do it, and maybe from this video someone will tell me something that we didn't already know. But I'm just making my way down here to one of our fields that needs ploughing this year. We don't do a crazy amount of ploughing on our farm, we just do the small bit every year because sometimes it's just good to get the ground turned over, and it's a nice quick way of getting ground ready. But as I said, I'm just heading down to the field here now, so I'll get down there, I'll do my first run, and then we'll get out and we'll make some adjustments, and I'll talk about what you're looking at when you're setting up a plough and all that good stuff. So my plan was just to do one run yesterday and then start recording on how I was going to set up the plough, but things just didn't go to plan really. It's just not the nicest field to be ploughing. I was told this ground would never be ploughed ever. This used to be, well, this bit I'm stood in right now was a football pitch, and up there, which is in grass now, was pure bog. It was covered in gorse and rushes and everything. It was just real wet ground. When we came here 10 years ago, we reclaimed about 10 acres, and I'm ploughing a bit of it now, and I was told we'd never be able to plough it, but here I am. So we're here in what was baby leaf last winter, and you can see, I don't know, maybe you can see it on the video, the beds are going at this angle and I'm ploughing it up and down. So that's one thing I was always taught when setting a plough or going into a field. You always go at different angle to the ruts. So whether that's tram lines in the likes of your barley or your wheat, or if it's the rows of beet in a beet field, or if it's the rows of maize in a maize field, or beds of baby leaf in a baby leaf field, you always try and dissect the ruts, because what can happen, if you imagine I was ploughing with these, my land wheel would end up in the rut sometimes, and then you're ploughing at different depths, so when you go up the field you'll have a deeper furrow than when you come back down, and it can really set off your ploughing. So that's one thing that's really important to be looking at when you're starting at a field. And then you come to the plough. Hopefully it's not too windy. I have got the mic on the GoPro, so hopefully it's alright. But what you want to look for is you want to see if your plough is level. So hopefully it is, but I'm fairly sure it is. The sun's making a mess of this, but hopefully you can see. You want your front and back furrow to be level with each other, and you can kind of tell from in the cab if they're level because you'll see how much soil they're turning. Then the next thing you want to look at, which the sun is also going to annoy me on now because it's looking right into it, is you want to come to the back and you want to see if it's perpendicular to the soil. So like you want to make sure it's not in like that or out like that. So it's pretty bang on there now. Now you never, a mistake some people can make is saying it wants to be parallel with the tractor, because you can see there my tyre is leaning in that way a little bit. So that's what you don't want to do, because obviously the tractor is sitting down in the furrow, so it's going to be tilting over this way, whereas you want the plough perfectly straight. Then the next thing is you want to come in here to the back of the tractor and look at your top link. So this is actually a bit of a controversial point for videos I've seen of lads setting up their plough. So I always was taught to plough in this slotted hole. So you see there, it's a slot, so the top link can move back and forward the whole time, which is exactly what I was taught. I was always told you don't, when the plough's in the ground, you do not want your top link affecting it, which is I've seen some other people say they'll plough with it maybe up in this one or down in this hole, and they'll have a hydraulic top link and they'll be changing the pitch the whole time, which I can see the advantage if you're in really unlevel ground, but if you're needing to change the pitch of your plough the whole time using the top link, that means your plough is probably not set up properly. So what you want to try and do is I was always taught, have the top link loose when you're going through, because then if the tractor goes down into a rut, the plough shouldn't really change its pitch. The depth of the front furrow might change, but it's not going to put pressure on the back and lift up the front furrow, or it's not going to pull it really deep or something like that. Because if the top link was real short, every time the tractor goes deeper, it'll really pull the front furrow in, and that's not what you want. You want to keep it, as I said before, it wants to be level coming across the back. So that is important with the top link. And then, as I was talking about before, if you want to change the pitch of your plough going this way or this way, that's in here on this ram. So I'm not going to be able to adjust it right now because there's pressure on it, but you see this big nut here, we've got a marking on the top of it. So when you're in the tractor, before you get out, you lift the plough up a bit and turn it a small bit, and then you get out and you twist this by hand and then put the pressure back on it, and that will affect how much the plough is leaning this way or this way. So that's how the pitch is changed. And then the other thing you've got here is your front furrow. So ours is a manual front furrow. Some ploughs have a hydraulic, and we're thinking about converting ours to a hydraulic because we've so many spare outlets on the tractor now, so we may as well put a hydraulic front furrow on it because it could be handy enough. But that is, I'll talk about the front furrow a bit more actually. So here is what you're talking about when you're talking front furrow. So there's where the tractor's just driven, and then this is your first furrow. So what you want to try and do is have this filling in perfectly, which I'm after walking on it now, so you're not going to be able to see, but that front furrow is filling in pretty good there now. Maybe I'm a bit shallow, but it's not too bad. So what you want to try and do is have the front furrow filling in the furrow the tractor's driving in without being too deep. So what you can see sometimes is they'll be ploughing and the front furrow will be deeper and it'll be pulling up a different colour of soil. So that means your front furrow is probably too narrow if you're having to go deeper to grab the right amount of soil to fill in the furrow. So then you want to widen it, and that's what the adjuster is for here at the front, what I was pointing at before. So if you want to widen it or shorten it, widen it or narrow it, you adjust this accordingly. So that's how the front furrow is adjusted, and I think that's about it. Then the other things are the likes of your discs. Some people don't have discs, or some don't even have skimmers on them, but we have both because it just does a lovely job. So what the disc does, as you can see here, is it cuts a slot, and then the skimmer, which is that one there, just takes the top off it, and then it leaves it much easier for the actual board itself to bury or to turn over the soil. And then you've got your land wheel at the back, which adjusts the depth of your furrow. So this little adjuster here is what adjusts the depth of the land wheel. So it runs outside on fresh ground and it'll be bumping along. So this is what I was saying before, if you were on unlevel ground like that and the land wheel was going down into ruts, you can end up with big problems with having level ploughing, but that's not too bad. And then the furrow press takes no setting up at all. This is what I mean when I'm talking about a furrow press. So this is turning the ground from what it's like here and under my feet. It can be a bit cloddy in that kind of way, and it just gives it, just kind of compacts it down and leaves it real nice for coming in with the X press. So big advantage to the furrow press is it levels off the ploughing. It can cover up bad ploughing, but there's not too much wrong out there. So So yeah, the furrow press is just on this arm here. So all you have to do to set it up is pull it out and put in whatever hole you want, and then it just catches it with this, and when you come to the end you let it off, turn around and catch it again with the arm at the other end. So it does a lovely job on the ground. But I'd say that's about it now for setting up a plough. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments and I'll do my best to get back to you, but I think I've explained most of that pretty well. But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comments. And if you enjoyed today's video, make sure you give the video a like and subscribe to the channel to see another video next Saturday. But that is it from me today, so I will see you in the next one.
Tight to the feeling, but it's a roller coaster in my head. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all, it's gotta be all or nothing, all or nothing. These doubts like the playing cards close to my chest. Turn them round for the river and hope it's something that